Good afternoon, Jets Nation. Welcome to the Juke Jets Show. And after watching yesterday's Super Bowl and this year's playoffs, it's making me crave Jets playoff football. I need it bad. So today I looked at some things that all playoff teams had in common and what the Jets need to make sure they do this offseason to ensure a 2024 playoff berth. So without any hesitation, let's get it started. So first off, majority of the playoff teams this year had at least one offensive player make the Pro Bowl and were top 10 in one of the major offensive categories. Now, the star part the Jets already have taken care of. You can easily have three guys make the Pro Bowl next year on the offensive side of the ball. You have a four-time MVP winner in Aaron Rodgers, a former offensive rookie of the year in Garrett Wilson, and a running back who had the fourth most scrimmage yards in the NFL last season in Breece Hall. You can easily have three offensive Pro Bowlers next season. It's the supporting cast the Jets need to make sure they have to give them a top 10 passing attack, a top 10 rushing attack, or a top 10 scoring offense in the NFL, or just a top 10 offense in the NFL, period. Because outside of Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall and Tyler Conklin, the Jets had nobody do much of anything on the offensive side of the ball this year. I mean, Garrett Wilson was the only wide receiver to produce. Breece Hall was the only running back to produce. And the offensive line, outside of like two guys, was god awful. And really just one player, because Joe Tippmann was really your only offensive lineman that did much of anything throughout the entire year, because Elijah Vera Tucker tore his Achilles halfway through the season. So the supporting cast was not there for the Jets offense this season. So this off season, the Jets need to make sure they add some talent to the receiving room. They add more talent to the running back room. They build a wall in front of Aaron Rodgers, because having that supporting cast to supplement your stars on offense is how you become a playoff team. Another thing that was the same between all playoff teams this year was a successful draft class. I mean, I can go piece by piece, brick by brick for all these playoff teams on how their draft classes affected their seasons. I mean, the Houston Texans are an easy example. They had the offensive and defensive rookie of the year, along with some great rookies in Tank Dell. If you don't have these players on your roster this season, you're not a playoff team. Same thing can be said about the Los Angeles Rams. They had great late-round success in guys like Kobe Turner and Puka Nacua. Without Kobe Turner and Puka Nacua, are the Los Angeles Rams a playoff team? Without Jahmyr Gibbs, Brian Branch, and Sam Laporta, are the Detroit Lions a playoff team? The draft classes that the playoff teams had this year affected their 2024 playoff outcomes 100%, affected them making the playoffs 100%. So having success in the draft is a must for the Jets this year. And they don't need to have a home run on every single pick. They just need to have one guy that can come in and make a direct impact. Another thing that would help the Jets out a lot as well is success in your 2024 offseason pickups through trades and free agency. Because all playoff teams this year had successful free agent pickups and trade pickups this year as well. So that whatever offseason moves the Jets make this year have to pay off. They can't end up being failures. We can't have another Lincoln Tomlinson situation. You can't have another Allen Lazard situation. If you go out and decide to sign a wide receiver, he better produce. If you go out and sign an offensive lineman, he better produce. It can't be another free agent failure for the Jets this off season. But the one thing that is constant between every single playoff team is great coaching. Every single playoff team this year had a coach that led them the right way. I mean, the Pittsburgh Steelers had a bottom 10 offense, the 12th worst defense in the NFL, and somehow made the playoffs because Mike Tomlin is a mastermind. The Green Bay Packers were counted out before the season even started. They had a wide receiver court that had a total of 1,000 career receiving yards, a quarterback who had one career start heading into the season. It made the playoffs because Matt LaFleur is a genius. The Los Angeles Rams had a half the roster being guys that never played snaps in the NFL before. I mean, their starting offense featured guys like Puka Nacua, Kyren Williams that no one ever heard of before this year. And somehow they managed to make the playoffs because Sean McVay is a genius. DeMeco Ryans came in as a rookie head coach with a team that was recently the second worst team in the NFL and built them into a playoff team. So having great success from your coaches is also another thing the Jets have to make sure they do in 2024. Robert Saleh, Nathaniel Hackett have got to step their game up this upcoming season if we want to see the Jets make the playoffs. And another thing that remains the same between all playoff teams is great uniforms. And it was announced yesterday that the Jets are going to be making the legacy uniforms permanent. Hallelujah. The Jets are going to have amazing uniforms next season, but this is what the Jets need to make sure they do in 2024 to ensure a playoff berth. Well, let me guys know what you thought of the video. What did you think of the Super Bowl yesterday? Let me know down below. And I'm your Stuart signing off for now. See you guys later. Peace.